It happened 4 times before I finally understood the truth. 4 times I woke up dizzy, disoriented, my heart racing in the middle of the night. 4 times I found cash missing from my wallet. 4 times my son Ryan looked at me with that expression, half concern, half pity, as if I was becoming the fragile, forgetful old woman everyone expected me to be. I'm Margaret, 62 years old, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not that woman. My husband Robert passed 3 years ago. Heart attack, sudden, devastating, the kind that reminds you life doesn't wait for you to be ready. We'd been married 37 years. We'd built a good life together in our home in Riverside, New Jersey. A modest 4-bedroom colonial with a big backyard where we'd raised Ryan, where Robert had spent countless weekends tinkering in his workshop. After Robert died, everyone kept asking if I was okay living alone. The truth? I liked it. The quiet. The freedom to eat dinner at 9 p.m. if I wanted, or not at all. To leave the TV off and just listen to the birds. I had my book club, my garden, my Tuesday morning water aerobics class at the community center. I wasn't lonely. I was fine. Then came that incident in May. I'd been carrying groceries up from the car, nothing unusual. I'd do it every week when I felt this strange tightness in my chest. Not pain exactly, more like pressure, like someone had draped a heavy blanket across my ribs. My vision went spotty at the edges. I dropped the bags. Oranges rolled across the driveway. Mrs. Chen from next door found me sitting on the front steps, catching my breath. She insisted on calling Ryan, who insisted on calling an ambulance. At the hospital, they ran every test imaginable. The doctor said it was probably just stress and dehydration, maybe a touch of anxiety, nothing serious. But Ryan looked terrified in that hospital room, his face pale under the fluorescent lights. "Mom, you can't keep living alone," he said. "What if something really bad had happened? What if Mrs. Chen hadn't been there?" "Ryan, I'm fine." "No, you're not fine. You're alone in that big house. You're 62, and you're alone." The way he said it, like 62 was ancient, like I was one step from a nursing home, it stung. That's when Cassidy, his wife, suggested they move in. "Just temporarily," she said with her practiced smile, her hand on Ryan's arm. "Until we're sure you're okay. Until you're stronger." Cassidy, my daughter-in-law of 5 years. 33 years old, perfect blonde highlights. Always dressed like she was on her way to brunch at some country club. I'd never quite warmed to her, though I tried. There was something too smooth about her, too rehearsed. But Ryan loved her, and that's what mattered. Or so I thought. They moved into the house 2 weeks later, Ryan, Cassidy, and their golden retriever, Duke. Ryan set up his home office in the spare bedroom. Cassidy took over the kitchen, reorganizing my cabinets, replacing my old dish soap with expensive organic brands. "You need to be more careful about chemicals at your age," she explained. At my age. As if I was made of glass. The first week was okay. Pleasant, even. Ryan cooked dinner most nights. He'd always been good in the kitchen, got that from his father. We watched Jeopardy together. Duke was sweet, following me around the house. It felt like having family close again. Then things started to change. It was small at first. I'd put my reading glasses on the kitchen counter, and they'd vanish. I'd find them later, in odd places, the bathroom, the garage, Ryan's office. I chalked it up to absent-mindedness. Maybe everyone was right. Maybe I was getting forgetful. Then came the first dizzy spell. Late June, maybe 3 weeks after they'd moved in. I woke up at 2 a.m. feeling like the room was spinning. My heart hammered against my ribs. My mouth was bone dry. I stumbled to the bathroom, splashed water on my face, and sat on the edge of the tub until the feeling passed. The next morning at breakfast, Cassidy asked if I was feeling okay. "You look tired," she said, her voice dripping with false concern. "Did you sleep well?" "I had a strange night," I admitted. Woke up feeling dizzy. She and Ryan exchanged a look. Quick, but I caught it. "Maybe your blood pressure medication needs adjusting," Ryan suggested. "Have you been taking it regularly?" Of course I have. But doubt crept in. Had I? I took my pills every morning with breakfast, same as always. Didn't I? A week later, it happened again. Same symptoms, racing heart, dizziness, dry mouth. This time I checked my pill bottle in the morning. The pills looked the same, small, round, white, but something felt off. I couldn't quite place it. That afternoon, $40 was missing from my wallet. I always kept some cash on hand for small purchases, the farmer's market, tips. I knew I'd had two 20s in there. Now there was nothing but a few singles. I asked Ryan and Cassidy about it at dinner. Did either of you borrow some cash from my wallet? I'm not upset. I just want to know so I can keep track. Ryan looked confused. No, Mom. Why would I take your money? If I needed cash, I'd just use the ATM. Cassidy touched his hand, then looked at me with those big, sympathetic eyes. Margaret, are you sure you had $40? Sometimes when we're stressed, our memory plays tricks on us. I'm not stressed, and my memory is fine. Of course it is, she said in that tone. That patronizing tone people use with children or the elderly. I just meant, you've been through a lot. Losing Robert? The health scare. It's natural to be a bit scattered. Scattered. Like my brain was a pile of papers blown by the wind. I know what I had in my wallet, I said firmly. Ryan looked uncomfortable. Let's not make a big deal out of this. Maybe you spent it and forgot. It happens to everyone. But it didn't happen to me. Not like this. A week after that, I woke up dizzy again. Third time. My pills definitely looked different, I was sure of it now. Slightly different shape, maybe? Or was I imagining it? I scheduled an appointment with Dr. Patterson, my physician for the past 15 years. Cassidy insisted on driving me. You shouldn't be behind the wheel if you're having these dizzy spells, she said, jingling her car keys. In Dr. Patterson's office, I described the symptoms. She checked my blood pressure, reviewed my medications, ran some blood tests. Everything looks normal, Margaret, she said. Your blood pressure is actually better than last year. These dizzy spells could be anxiety-related or maybe inner ear issues. I'll refer you to an ENT specialist, but I don't think it's anything serious. On the drive home, Cassidy was quiet. Then she said, You know, Margaret, if you're not feeling well, maybe we should talk about you having more support. Someone to help manage your medications, your appointments. I can manage my own medications. I'm sure you can. I just worry. We both do. There it was again. That we, as if she and Ryan were a unified front and I was the problem to be managed. That evening, I went to my bedroom and locked the door. I sat on the edge of my bed and took a long, hard look at myself in the mirror above my dresser. Was I losing it? Was I becoming that confused old woman they seemed to think I was? No, I wasn't. I'd always had a sharp mind. I balanced my checkbook to the penny. I did the Sunday crossword in pen. I remembered birthdays, appointments, passwords. Something wasn't right, and it wasn't me. The fourth incident happened 2 weeks later. I woke up dizzy again, my heart pounding. But this time, when I got up to go to the bathroom, I noticed something. The water glass on my nightstand, I always kept a glass of water there, had a strange, chalky residue at the bottom. I held it up to the light. Definitely something there. Instead of rinsing it out, I wrapped it in a plastic bag and hid it in the back of my closet. The next morning, I noticed another $20 missing from my wallet. I'd just gone to the ATM 2 days ago, withdrawn $60. Now there was only $40. That afternoon, while Cassidy was out running errands and Ryan was on a work call, I went through my house with fresh eyes. I checked my jewelry box, my grandmother's pearl earrings gone. A gold bracelet Robert had given me for our 20th anniversary gone. They weren't worth a fortune, but they were mine. And now they weren't. I felt something shift inside me. A cold, clear anger. I thought about confronting them. But what did I have? Missing cash, missing jewelry, dizzy spells, a glass with residue. They'd say I misplaced things. They'd say I was confused. They'd point to my hospital visit in May as evidence that I wasn't managing well on my own. No. I needed proof. Real proof. My friend Barbara from book club had a grandson who worked in tech. I called her. Barbara, this is going to sound strange, but I need help installing a security system. Cameras. For inside the house. There was a pause. Margaret, is everything okay? I think someone in my house is stealing from me. And I think they might be doing something worse. Another pause. Then, I'll have Tommy call you. Today. Tommy was 25, with thick framed glasses and a backpack full of equipment. He looked around my house, asked questions, and didn't judge. You want cameras in common areas, right? Kitchen, living room, hallways? Not bedrooms or bathrooms. Exactly. Your son and daughter-in-law live here? Temporarily. He nodded slowly. Are you going to tell them about the cameras? No. He didn't ask why. Just showed me how everything worked. Tiny cameras, barely visible, hidden in picture frames, in a clock on the mantel, in the corner of the bookshelf. Everything streamed to an app on my phone. You can watch it live, or review footage, he explained. It's motion activated, so it won't record constantly. Saves battery and storage. I paid him in cash. He promised not to mention it to his grandmother until I said it was okay. That night, lying in bed, I opened the app on my phone. 4 camera views. Kitchen, living room, hallway, dining room. All quiet. I felt a little guilty, spying on my own family. But the anger was stronger than the guilt and the fear. Because deep down, I was starting to understand that this wasn't about missing cash or jewelry. This was about something much bigger. The cameras rolled for 3 days before they caught anything significant. Day 1. Normal activities. Ryan working in his office. Cassidy on her phone, scrolling. Duke sleeping in patches of sunlight. Day 2. I reviewed footage of myself making breakfast, moving through the house. I looked normal, not confused, not forgetful, just a woman living her life. Day 3. Everything changed. I'd gone out that morning to my water aerobics class. I told them I'd be gone from 9:30 to 11:30. At 10:15, I pulled up the cameras on my phone from the community center parking lot. Just checking, just curious. Cassidy was in my bedroom. My heart clenched. I watched on the small screen as she moved through my room, opening drawers, going through my desk. She found my checkbook, photographed several checks with her phone. Then she went to my closet, rifled through my purses. She took cash from one of them. I could see her pocket the bills. Then she went to my jewelry box. The remaining pieces I had left. She took a gold ring, a silver bracelet, slipped them into her pocket. I was shaking. My hands gripped the phone so hard my knuckles were white. But she wasn't done. Cassidy left my bedroom and went to the kitchen. She opened the cabinet where I kept my medications. She took out my blood pressure pill bottle, dumped a few pills into her hand, and examined them. Then she put them back. From her pocket, she pulled out a different pill bottle. She opened both bottles, side by side on the counter. She was switching them. She took several of my pills out and replaced them with pills from her bottle. Then she closed both bottles, put mine back in the cabinet, and pocketed hers. The footage was crystal clear. No ambiguity, no room for misinterpretation. She was poisoning me, not to kill me, I realized. The symptoms I'd been having, dizziness, racing heart, confusion, they weren't life-threatening. They were just enough to make me seem unstable, to make me seem like I couldn't take care of myself. I sat in my car in that parking lot, watching the footage over and over, and I understood the whole plan. Make me seem confused. Make me seem forgetful. Make me seem like I was losing my grip on reality. Then what? Convince Ryan I needed a caretaker? Get power of attorney? Move me into assisted living and take over my house, my assets, my life? How long had this been going on? Had she been doing this from the moment they moved in? I thought about the hospital incident in May, the chest pressure, the dizziness. Had she done something then too? Had she somehow caused it? I felt sick, but I also felt clear. Crystal clear, sharp, vindicated. I wasn't losing my mind. I wasn't becoming that fragile old woman. I was being systematically undermined by my own daughter-in-law. I saved the footage, downloaded it to my phone, backed it up to 3 different places. Then I called my lawyer, Michael Rothstein. We'd used him for years for estate planning and other matters. Michael, I need to see you today. It's urgent. Margaret, what's wrong? I need to change my will. Update my power of attorney documents. And I need your advice on a criminal matter. Silence. Then, I can see you at 3 p.m. I skipped lunch. Couldn't eat. I went to Michael's office and showed him everything. The footage of Cassidy stealing. The footage of her switching my pills. The glass with the residue. My list of missing items. He watched the videos 3 times, his expression darkening. Margaret, this is elder abuse. Financial exploitation and potentially assault, depending on what those pills are. Can we press charges? Absolutely. But first, you need to get those pills tested. Find out what she's been giving you. That'll strengthen any case. And you need to remove these people from your house immediately. Ryan is my son. Ryan is enabling abuse, whether he knows it or not. You need to protect yourself. He helped me draft new documents. Everything power of attorney, healthcare proxy, beneficiary designations, everything went to my niece in California, someone I trusted. Ryan was removed from all of it until further notice. Then Michael gave me the number for a detective he knew in the county prosecutor's office. Show them the footage, he said. File a report. Let them handle it from here. I left his office with a manila folder full of documents and a phone number in my pocket. I should have felt scared, but I felt powerful. I called the detective from my car. Detective Angela Morrison. I described the situation. She asked me to come in the next day with all the evidence. Ma'am, don't confront anyone yet, she said. If she realizes she's been caught, she might destroy evidence or flee. Can you act normal for one more night? Could I? Could I go home and eat dinner with these people who'd been betraying me? Yes, I said. I can do that. That evening was surreal. I cooked pasta, my grandmother's recipe, the one Ryan had always loved. We sat at the dinner table, the three of us, making small talk. Cassidy complimented my cooking. Ryan told a story about a difficult client at work. I watched Cassidy's face, the way she smiled, the way she touched Ryan's hand, the way she asked me, with false sweetness, if I'd remembered to take my evening pills. Not yet, I said. I'll take them before bed. Make sure you do. We worry about you. I wanted to throw my plate at her. Instead, I smiled and said, I know you do. After dinner, I went to my bedroom and locked the door. I opened the app and watched the cameras. Ryan and Cassidy in the living room, watching TV. Ordinary. Normal. Monsters hiding in plain sight. The next morning, while Cassidy was in the shower and Ryan was on a morning jog, I went to the kitchen cabinet. I took my pill bottle, the one she'd tampered with, and put it in a Ziploc bag. I replaced it with an identical bottle I'd had filled last month, still sealed. Then I grabbed my purse and told Ryan I was going out to run errands. I drove straight to the police station. Detective Morrison was in her 40s, sharp-eyed and no nonsense. She watched the footage on her computer screen, made notes, asked questions. And you have the pills she was giving you? I handed her the Ziploc bag. We'll have these tested. In the meantime, I'm going to assign someone to come to your house and conduct an interview with you, your son, and your daughter-in-law. We'll do it carefully. Act like it's a routine follow-up about your May hospital visit, just checking on elder welfare. See how they react. When? Today. This afternoon. Can you be home at 2 p.m.? Yes. Act normal until then. Can you do that? I can. I went home, made myself a sandwich, pretended to watch The Price is Right. My heart was a hammer in my chest, but my hands were steady. At 2 p.m., the doorbell rang. Ryan answered. Two people stood there, Detective Morrison and a social worker named Patricia Reeves. They showed badges, explained they were following up on my May hospital visit as part of a county wellness program for seniors. Cassidy appeared in the hallway, her face carefully arranged in an expression of concern. They asked to speak to each of us separately. They started with me, in the dining room. Mrs. Fletcher, how have you been feeling? Much better lately, actually. Any more dizzy spells? No. Not recently. A small lie, but strategic. Do you feel safe in your home? I looked Detective Morrison in the eye. Very safe. Ryan went next. Through the walls, I could hear his voice, confused, saying he didn't understand why they were here, that I was doing fine, that he and Cassidy were taking good care of me. Then it was Cassidy's turn. I couldn't hear what was said, but after 10 minutes, Detective Morrison came out. Mrs. Fletcher, we're going to need to speak with you again, and we'll need to take Mrs. Cassidy Fletcher down to the station for further questioning. Cassidy's face went white. What? Why? Ma'am, we have evidence of financial exploitation and potential assault of a vulnerable adult. You need to come with us. Ryan erupted. What are you talking about? Cassidy would never— Mr. Fletcher, your mother has evidence. Security camera footage. We've been reviewing it. He looked at me. betrayed, confused. "Mom, what is she talking about? What cameras?" I stood up. My legs felt strong. My voice felt strong. "The cameras I installed 3 weeks ago. The ones that recorded Cassidy stealing from me, going through my things, and switching my medication." Cassidy's expression shifted. The mask slipped. For just a second, I saw rage there. Pure rage. "You're a paranoid old woman," she hissed. "You're losing your mind, and you're dragging Ryan down with you. The footage doesn't lie." Detective Morrison stepped between us. "Mrs. Fletcher, you need to come with us. Now." They arrested her in my living room. Read her rights while Ryan stood there, stunned, Duke whimpering at his feet. After they left, it was just Ryan and me. "Mom, I don't understand." I showed him. Everything. The downloaded footage on my tablet. Cassidy in my room. Cassidy stealing. Cassidy switching my pills. All of it. He watched in silence. His face crumpled. "I didn't know," he whispered. "I swear to God, Mom, I didn't know." "I believe you. She said you were getting forgetful. She said she was worried about you. She said we needed to watch you more closely. I thought she was being helpful. I thought she cared." He started to cry. My 35-year-old son, sobbing at my kitchen table. "What kind of person does this?" he asked. "What kind of person poisons their mother-in-law?" "Someone who wants something badly enough," I said. "Money, control, the house. I don't know what her endgame was, Ryan, but it's over now." The pills came back from the lab 4 days later. She'd been giving me a diuretic, a water pill. Not deadly, but enough to cause dehydration, dizziness, low blood pressure, confusion. Combined with my actual blood pressure medication, it was dangerous. Cassidy was charged with elder abuse, financial exploitation, assault, and fraud. The evidence was overwhelming. My lawyer said she'd likely take a plea deal. Ryan filed for divorce immediately. He moved back in with me for a few weeks, but we both knew it was time for him to have his own place. He found an apartment across town, close enough to visit, far enough to give me space. We're rebuilding our relationship. It's slow. He carries guilt he doesn't deserve. I tell him that every time I see him. "You trusted your wife," I say. "That's not a crime, but I should have listened to you." She was convincing. She almost convinced me I was losing my mind. 3 months later, I'm sitting in my kitchen drinking coffee, looking out at the backyard where the leaves are starting to turn. My pills are my pills. My money is my money. My house is my house. I'm 62 years old. I'm not fragile. I'm not forgetful. I'm not that easy to break. And I learned something important. Trust your instincts. When something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't let anyone gaslight you into doubting yourself. Not family, not friends, not anyone. If I hadn't installed those cameras, where would I be right now? In assisted living, maybe. Medicated and controlled. My assets drained. My independence gone. But I did install them. I trusted myself, and I took my life back. To anyone out there going through something similar, whether you're my age or younger, whether it's family or strangers, document everything. Get help. Speak up. You deserve to feel safe in your own home. You deserve to have control of your own life. No one gets to take that from you. Not even family, especially not family.